wherever you are and this life is meeting you, I would definitely like to speak to you on a very important topic. I'd like to speak to you on the topic of universal energy and how when you align with this universal energy, you'll have effortless manifestation. That's the kind of experience you will have. Effortless manifestation. Now, the reason why it is very important for you to learn as much as possible about this universal energy is to teach you concerning our similarity with the rest of nature. And so, when you look at nature and you really think deeply, you would realize the amount of lessons that you can learn from just looking at nature. So when you understand your connection with nature and you understand that you are carrying an energy, and this energy that you're carrying is a universal energy, but this energy can be transmuted to create your reality consciously. But of course, you must get in alignment. That is why these words that I'm bringing to you is to encourage you how important it is for you to align with universal energy to experience effortless manifestation in your life. You see, if you look at the nature of a certain animal, you would realize that animal always bring it forth after its own kind. And the characteristics of that animal is showing you the nature of that animal. Well, so too with you. What make you higher than the animals are your words, which is speech, and mind. You have a mind, a rational reasoning mind. The animals don't have that. But everything else, physically speaking, that you possess, it is possessed also by an animal. That is why you have to rise above that level of consciousness. For example, the animals, they can see, they can touch, they can feel, they can smell. They operate in these five senses. But there's a higher sense that is beyond your five senses. This sense is what will teach you your true essence. This infinite intelligence, it's everywhere, in every civilization. And so since the dawn of time, there have always been wise men who have been teaching the people how life should be lived on this planet. To teach the people how to live a more fulfilling and a more purposeful life by understanding universal energy. Once you have a thorough understanding of universal energy and you learn to work with this universal energy, you will discover that you are the Lord and Master of your destiny and you can live your life whichever way you want it to be. So for example, if you need to attract more money in your life, You can attract more money in your life without working physically harder. Instead, you're going to think more smarter than working harder. Most people believe if they do 2 jobs, or if they do 3 jobs or 4 jobs, they believe that the more jobs they do, they will attain more in life. But it's not so when you understand how to manipulate this universal energy from which I speak. You see, there's only one universal consciousness. And there's only one power that we use in this world to form, to shape, and to mold, to reshape. And it's the power of the mind. So it is your mind that you must master to be in alignment with the rest of nature. Because if you're getting certain results in your life that is not making you a better person, and you do not like those results, and you want to change those results, it is because there's something in you that needs to be changed. And it can only be changed by the rearranging of your mind. You definitely have to renew your mind, which is telling you that you have the power to change your thoughts. But the power that you have to change your thoughts is the same power you have to use to create the best version of your life on this planet. So what do you want? If you want to become rich, you have to know exactly how rich you want to become. If you want to own a certain home, or you want to own land, you have to know the amount of land you would like to attract into your reality. Whether is it you want to attract an acre land, half acre of a land, whether you want to attract 10,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet, and I can go on and on and on. So you have to be definite about what you would like to attract into your reality. And as long as you accept the fact that there is a universal energy, and because of that universal energy, you're the cause of everything that's happening in your life. As long as you do not blame anyone for your circumstances, and you look into the mirror of life, you would realize that everything that's happening to you is a reflection of what is taking place in the secret place, in that mental space. You see, your mental is connected to your spiritual. For you are a triune being. You are 3 in 1. You are physical. That's how you operate by your 5 senses. And you are psychological. That is how you attain thoughts. And unless you walk upon those thoughts, they would never become things. So for you to learn that thoughts become things, you have to learn to walk upon your burning desires. Because when you have a burning desire, that burning desire is a spiritual sensation. It is not really the physical man that wants it, it is the spiritual man want to have that experience while being trapped in a physical 3-dimensional body. That is why if you think 4th-dimensionally, that 4th-dimensional thinking would connect you with your identity. And your real identity is your divinity. So for example, someone would refer to themselves as a millionaire, and then you have multi-millionaires and you have billionaires. Well, a millionaire is a certain mindset. It's a certain frequency. It's a certain vibration. A multi-millionaire is a certain frequency also, a certain level of vibration. And a billionaire also is a higher level of vibration and frequency. So everything is based on energy, vibration, and frequency. And I'm saying to you that this energy is universal. It hasn't been withheld from anyone. Doesn't matter what your experience is. Doesn't matter what was passed down to you by your family. You can break every generational curse. And all generational curses based on limited thinking. It goes all the way back to the mind. So if you study epigenetics, then you will understand why a man who's alcoholic, if he make a child with a woman, it is quite likely that that child can become an alcoholic also. Sometimes when you go to the doctor normally asks you if certain things run in your family, okay? There's a reason why they ask you that, okay? Because when it comes to the sexual power, it's a power that you can use to transmute your every desire, but much people do not know that. Sexual transmutation, where you can transmute your energy into the equivalent of money or into the equivalent of whatsoever you desire in this world. But of course, you have to understand the inner working of alchemy and understand metaphysical alchemy. That is why you must never, ever believe the Bible to be a religious book and believe that is pointing you to look outwardly. It is pointing you to look within to discover that your real identity is your divinity. For you to prove for yourself that money and all the things that money could buy, you must first know that money is a living, flowing currency. And you are carrying that living, flowing currency within you. Therefore, you have the ability to attract money. As a matter of fact, you're a money magnet. But you have to be the master of your mind to bend reality to your will. And so money will never be your master. Instead, you'll be the master of money. Because you will know how to experience effortless manifestation in your life just by changing your mindset. So in short, I'm saying to you that your belief system is what is blocking you from being in alignment with the universal energy that you can use effortlessly to give you your every desires. But of course, you have to become a conscious and a deliberate creator by practicing self-discipline. You have to discipline your mind. You have to pay a price for anything that you will attract into your reality. There's a price you must pay. For example, if a man want to become a doctor, he have to go to medical school and study for 7 or 8 years. That's the price he have to pay. If a man want to be a school teacher, he have to go to some teachers college and spend some years there and learn how to teach. That is the price you have to pay. Well, for those of you who believe that your greatest possession on this planet is your mind, and you're willing to be responsible for your mind, and you're willing to take control of your mind, well then, in order for you to take control of your mind, you have to learn to unlearn, relearn, and then reprogram your subconscious mind. Because if your subconscious mind has been infiltrated with limiting beliefs, if you have negative thoughts about money, if you have negative thoughts about wealth, you will not be able to attract wealth into your reality. If you want to be rich and prosperous, then you don't speak against the rich and prosperous. Learn to understand that everything is a reflection of what is taking place within you. And hold yourself responsible for everything that you will ever experience in life. Because there's only the law of cause and effect. So don't look at the effect and deny that you are the cause. You are the cause of everything that would ever happen in your life. For example, if a man kill or steal, there is a reward for him. Whether is it imprisonment or whatever measure is used, that is the price he's paying for his actions. So every one of us in this world, we are responsible for our thoughts and our actions. Now, we all speak words, and a word is the expression of a thought. And we all engage in some sort of action. Every action is the expression of a thought. So everything is mental. Everything is psychological. Therefore, we are living in a mental construct. Everything is an outpicturing of yourself. If you think rich, you will become rich. If you think abundant, you will become abundant. If you think as one who have found purpose, then you will act in purpose. If you seek to know what are your gifts in life, if you seek your creativity, if you seek the abilities that you have lying dormant within you, and you want to expand in life, you want to have more, you want to have more better influence on others' life. All these things that I've just mentioned, it can be found within you, in your psyche, in the mind. That is why you have to take control of your mind and accept the fact that you are the cause of everything that's happening in your life, based on the law of cause and effect. There's certain laws in this universe that cannot be changed. It is impossible for you to plant pumpkin and reap watermelon. That's a divine law. That's an infinite law. That's an immutable law. No one can change that law. So whatsoever you sow, you definitely gonna reap that. So everyone have a personality. The personality is the fruit. So the rich man, the poor man, the beggar man, the thief is the effect. But until you're going to fix the cause, you will never prove what I'm saying. That is why we are all self-made. But only the successful will admit the fact that we are all self-made. Well, the good news is that this message I'm sharing with you is for self-improvement. This message I'm sharing with you is for self-development. And so, if you are listening to me, and what I'm saying, if it's making sense to you, and you would like to engage in more positive, uplifting talks like these, I normally do a one-on-one on an app called Faithia, with over 100 plus other teachers that are there teaching people. Many of them teaching them the principles of the Bible the way they know, and I'm teaching it the way I know also. But my teachings are different than most of the people on Faithia, because I teach the Bible on all three levels, the metaphysical and esoteric level, and also on the psychological level. Okay, so if you accept the fact that you're a triune being, that you're physical, you're psychological, and you're spiritual, then we can have a talk. Okay, we can go deeper down the rabbit hole. If you want to make more money, if you want to attract more better opportunities in life, you can definitely reach out to me, because results don't argue. You know, results don't argue. I can remember quite vividly as a young man growing up, I seek for purpose. I seek for meaning. And I think there's a book that says that man search for meaning. Every one of us on this planet, we are searching for meaning in our lives. And so by me searching, I get to discover what works and what doesn't work. And that is why I'm saying to you, if your belief system is not working for you, you definitely will need to change your belief system. If life is not working the way that you want it to work in your favor, then you need to change your belief system. Do you know how good it is when you become financially independent? When you know no longer trapped as a debt slave? I'm saying that to you because I remember reading someone comment where they were saying that they're so grateful that they have paid off their car note. They have also paid their last mortgage from their salary, I think for their home. And they say they feel so good to know that they are no longer a debt slave. That's how the person called themselves. They say they were a debt slave. But the person only said that and admit that when he got out of it. But I'm trying to tell you to take precaution, and I'm trying to tell you how not to get in to something like that by saying to you that you have a universal currency, a universal energy. And all you need is to align with that universal energy, and you would manifest effortlessly. It's effortless manifestation I am talking to you about. As long as you definitely change your mindset, everything else around you will change. And for those who would find what I'm saying is good, it is because you have found good within yourself. It is because you come to that consciousness that good is in you. So once you know good is in you, you will never look on the outside for good. You will never look for good. You will give good, and you will get back good, because there's a lot of compensation. You must give first. You must give first. Then it's going to return back to you. That is the key to wealth and abundance and prosperity. All the richest men that ever exist on this planet, they use that one simple law. They learn to give first. You can give up your time, you can give up your talent, you can give up your money. Whatsoever you have in your possession, you give it, you let it go. Don't hold on to it, you let it go, and it's going to come back to you. You're a magician. That's why they say it's like love is like a magic penny. You give it away, you don't have any, but then it's going to come back to you. When you start to vibrate and the love energy by learning first of all to love yourself and believe in yourself and appreciate yourself just as you are, and be grateful that this message found you, a message of self-realization, a man that is saying to you that there is a universal energy, and everyone have that universal energy within themselves, and that universal energy will give us the motor car. It is that universal energy that gives us money. It is that universal energy that gives us electricity, give us the telephone, and all the other things in life. Everything that a man will ever use to attract more money in his life, it all came from the mind of someone. So I'm saying everything is mental and everything is psychological. So the money is all mental and psychological and manifests in a physical way. That is why I always teach that if a physical fact, for example, let me hold a leaf in my hand, and let this leaf represent money. Let it represent a 100 bill in whatever currency you are in. Okay, let me just say it's 100 US. Okay, because that's good exchange currency. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. Let's say I say it is the pounds, the UK pounds. If it's the euro money, okay, it's good exchange rate. It have a good exchange rate, but it have no intrinsic value of its own. So if nobody use it for bartering, for exchange, it have no intrinsic value of its own. So I'm saying the real value is not in this physical money. It is not in the physical. Now, the message I want to share with you is this. If this represent money, and I'm holding it in my hand, and it is a hard and objective fact. It is a physical fact, and it can create a psychological state in you. You feel good because why? You can hold $1 million in your hand. Okay? It makes you feel a certain way. Well, if a physical fact can create a psychological state, I'm saying that a psychological state can create a physical fact. So for you to understand how to get into this psychological state that can create for you a physical fact, I am saying to you that you must embrace universal energy. The energy that you have right now, listen to me, is universal. And no one in this world have anything that you don't have. You have the same power. You have the same purchasing power. You have the same power to achieve your every desire. Think about any millionaire and you have the same power to become a millionaire. Think of any multi-millionaire and you have the same power to become a multi-millionaire. Think about any billionaire and you have the same power to become a billionaire. Or even multi-billionaire if you want to. But it is what you desire. How far you're willing to go. How big is your vision? All these things must come into consideration. And then, action. So my brothers and my sisters, as I come to a close here, if I encourage you to do affirmation every day, do it. If I encourage you to read, find time to read, do it. Because you're exercising your mind. If I encourage you to practice conscious self-talk, when you're talking to yourself, practice to talk to yourself the most loving and positive things, the most uplifting things when you're talking to yourself. And if you really want to talk to yourself effectively, you need to find a quiet place. That is a sacrifice you have to make. There's a price you have to pay. Take a little time out of a busy schedule to be alone. If I encourage you to do scripting to better yourself, is because I know that scripting will help you. Everything I am encouraging you to do to better yourself, it is because I know it works. And I know that it's going to work for you. Because there's only one universal currency. There's only one universal energy. Okay? That's why it doesn't matter which part of the world you're living in. There is a medium of exchange that you have to use. Okay? They may call it different name. Like in China, they might call it the yen. In America, they might call it the US dollar. In the UK, they may call it the pounds. In Europe, they may call it the euro. Okay? But that medium of exchange, which we refer to as money, it is a living, flowing energy that is in every person on this planet. And whenever you discover it is a flowing, living currency, you must learn to transmute it into your reality. And then, that's how you prove what I am saying. So, I'm not just giving you knowledge. I am saying to you, put the knowledge to work. Because action speaks louder than words. Okay? So, if you're not self-disciplined, don't blame no one, blame yourself. Because self-discipline is the key. For example, Michael Jordan being one of the greatest, if not the greatest, basketball player of all times. He didn't just become a great player. He practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. If you don't practice how to calm your mind down, if you don't practice to concentrate, if you don't practice daily meditation and these things, knowing that life itself is music, okay? And that's why we would have our last heartbeat, because the music is vibration. Everything is based on vibration. So money is a result of your vibration. As a matter of fact, money is a reflection of your vibration. So if you are a millionaire vibration, you understand, you would attract that into your reality. Whatever vibration that you are on, that will become your reality. Okay? So everything vibrates, nothing rests. You are a vibratory being and you operate on frequency. So attract whatever you want to attract by getting on the frequency. You want to attract more money, get on the money frequency. The right idea will come to you. And when you walk up on that idea, then you would know for sure that all these years of your life, you never realized that you were the cause of what was happening in your life. You blame everyone else except yourself. And you look for peace and happiness everywhere except looking for it within yourself. So my brothers and my sisters, as I come to a close here, I just want to remind you that this whole topic I was speaking about was based on being in alignment with universal energy. There's no one who doesn't have this universal energy, and you use it to manifest effortlessly. You don't need to force. You just need to allow. You just need to accept. You just need to feel worthy. You see, most people do not believe that they are worthy of riches and abundance in their life. Sometimes people can become so spiritually minded that they know earthly good. And some people can become so earthly minded that they know spiritually good. That's why they do want to accept the spiritual self, which is the higher self, the God self. The part of them that is limitless. Well, I'm introducing you to your limitless self. Okay? So, as I said earlier, if you want to go deeper into these things, you can book a one-on-one with me on an app called Faith here. The link is down below. And let us go deeper down the rabbit hole. Also, if you like to get my books, all of my books are available to you. You can get my books and you can read my books. And they will teach you about metaphysical alchemy. Okay? But I'm taking it from an angle whereby I am using the book of mind science, which is actually the Bible. And I'm doing that because the Bible was used to colonize the mind of people in these regions, to think outside of themselves, or to look for someone outside of themselves to save them when they want to save themselves. Okay? So if you grew up like me, you were schooled a certain way, and you were given certain belief system to believe that was keeping you limited, all you have to do is just be honest with yourself and say, man, I've been believing these things for so many years, and my life haven't expanded and grown in any way. I am willing and ready. I have nothing to lose by doing these things, like doing affirmation and scripting, mirror walk, learning to quiet your mind down, getting in positive and uplifting self-talk, doing all of these disciplined things in your life. There's nothing, you have nothing to lose to try to practice these things in your life. There's some people who've been going to church for 20 years, 30 years, and nothing changed. But it's never too late to do something else. And whatever you get result with, stick to the results that you are getting. Whichever is working for you, stick with that. That's my biggest encouragement to you. So, before I leave you, this is my last thing to you. I'm giving you an invitation to join me on Faith here for a one-on-one if you want to go deeper. Okay, let me just read these comments and then I'm definitely going to close. Okay, this person say that they have been listening, constantly. And, consistency is the key. Continue to listen and put things to work. Okay, don't just listen alone and then you get caught up and you get distracted. Put these things to work. Okay? Someone else agree with me when they say money is energy and frequency. Okay? So it's got to know that there are other people who are telling you what I'm saying to you is the truth. But of course, as I said, you have to put it to work. And he gives an example here telling you it's like a radio where you can switch the radio to any different frequency. Okay? He say here you can tune in and walk like you got it. Okay? So it means that you have to cultivate the belief in you that you already have the thing, because there's only now. I'm just elaborating on it. You see, some people trapped in time, believing that there was yesterday and tomorrow. Well, all you have to do, tell me something in yesterday Go in yesterday and tell me something in yesterday, and then go in tomorrow and tell me something in tomorrow. Then you prove that it's only now. So whenever you say yesterday, you're seeing it in the now. Whenever you're saying tomorrow, you're seeing it in the now. There's only now. Okay, and now is the time for you to live the best version of yourself by learning to give. Give of your time. Give of your energy. Give of your talent. Find something in you. Because there's something in you of value. And that thing that you have in you, that is of value. You give it away. You share it with others, and it must come back to you. It's called the law of compensation. Where you say give, and it shall come back to you in good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over. Men will always be given into your bosom. But you have to give it out of love. That's why you have to learn to love yourself first and believe in yourself. Okay? So I can go on and on and on and on and on. So, my last encouragement to you is to learn to love yourself more than love money. People who are afraid to give themselves the right knowledge, and they rather hold on to money, and they don't want to use that money for someone to mentor them. Those people will never grow and expand, because they have the wrong concept of money. They think it's something you hold on to, when it is something you're supposed to let go and circulate. For it is a living, flowing currency. Let it flow. Don't stop the flow. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I really want to thank you very much. And as I mentioned before, you can get my books there. The links are down below. You can book that one-on-one with me. And faith here, the choice is yours. As I always say, and will always say it, always follow your intuition. No. Let me run that again. Always follow your intuition. Let me run that a third time. Always follow your intuition. Always. At all time. So with that being said, I just want to say peace. Love you all. Out.